For football fans in Europe's top leagues, the excitement of the transfer window is sky high. You can hope that your team will make an incredible signing who turns out to be money well spent, but there's always that risk of a disastrous signing that every other club laughs at. Whether it's huge money signings living up to the price tag, or those unknown bargains who shoot up in value, here are the biggest hits and misses of the 2024 transfer windows. We'll begin with the worst signings throughout 2024, and the first contender on our list is Niklas Füllkrug, West Ham. The start of the 2024-25 season was meant to be a new dawn for West Ham. Out went David Moyes in the summer, and in came new man Julen Lopetegui, supposedly the man to bring a more attractive brand of football to the Hammers. Among a host of big signings was German international Niklas Füllkrug, who came with a good reputation and off the back of a decent Euros. He cost the princely sum of $27.5 million. It's been a disaster though. West Ham have struggled, and Füllkrug's game time has been limited by injury, form, and a continued reliance on the aging Michael Antonio. 15 goals last season for Dortmund suggests a proven goal scorer, but Füllkrug has managed just 5 appearances and a single goal. With Antonio getting injured in a car crash in early December, just as Füllkrug returned to fitness, things might improve, but rumors are he wants to leave. Joshua Zirkzee, Manchester United. The Rasmus Højlund experiment last season yielded mixed results for Manchester United. Lacking the quality striker the club has been renowned for in the Premier League era, United dipped into the market in August and signed Joshua Zirkzee from Serie A side Bologna. With a hefty price tag of $36.5 million, a lot was expected of the tall and strong striker. Sadly, he's failed dismally to live up to that price. Zirkzee's performances have mirrored United's general struggles this season. He's been slow and awkward and lacking in conviction. More importantly, he's been lacking in goals with 3 in his first 21 appearances. Savinho, Man City. Man City are having a season to forget, suffering their worst run of form under Pep Guardiola, with most of their attacking players struggling to find consistency. Without Erling Haaland's goals, things could have been even worse. City have never been shy of spending money, and in the summer window they spent $30 million on Savinho, a Brazilian winger who had an eye-catching breakout season with Girona, notching 9 goals and 10 assists last season. For City, he struggled to impose himself and get game time, even when no one in his wing position has done enough to nail down the position. Savinho has scored precisely 0 goals in his first 20 appearances. Timo Werner, Tottenham. It takes quite something to make the same mistake twice, but that's exactly what Tottenham have done with Timo Werner. The German frontman has rarely let his national team down, but his first spell in the Premier League with Chelsea was a disaster. That probably should have been a warning sign. However, Tottenham signed Werner in January, on loan until the end of the season from Leipzig. He did very little to set the world alight, scoring 2 goals in 14 games and failed to ignite Spurs' faltering top 4 bid. They ended the season in 5th place. But for some reason, Big Ange Postecoglou and the Spurs hierarchy decided to take Werner on loan again for the new season with an option to buy. He's repaid that faith with 1 goal in the League Cup. To make things worse, Ange publicly ripped Werner to pieces in a post-match conference, following a poor draw with Rangers in the Europa League. Calvin Phillips, Ipswich Town. When it comes to the worst of the worst, there's one name who stands head and shoulders above the rest. In fact, there's a legitimate argument that Calvin Phillips has been the worst signing in the Premier League 3 years running. In the summer of 2022, he joined Man City to warm the bench and be accused of being overweight by Pep. He played 31 times in his first season and a half, mostly cameos from the bench. In the January 2024 window, West Ham took him on loan, hoping to spark his Leeds form into life. He was terrible, playing 10 times and making a disastrous error on his debut that led to conceding a goal. He was also sent off in a game against Nottingham Forest. He returned to parent club City with no future. Ipswich signed him in the summer on loan, and it's been even worse. 8 sluggish appearances with Calvin in the shadow of the player he was. From the negative to the positive now with the 5 best signings of 2024. Victor Osimhen, Galatasaray. In some ways, you could almost call this a bad signing for football, because let's face it, Victor Osimhen is way too good to be playing in the Turkish league. He spent most of 2023-2024 trying to orchestrate a move away from Napoli, with just about every big European club with enough money interested in signing him. To the surprise of many, Osimhen signed with Galatasaray on loan and unsurprisingly has proceeded to tear up the division. So for them, it's most definitely been a great signing. 10 goals in his first 13 games, and Osimhen has continued to be lethal in front of goal, having scored 76 goals in 133 games for Napoli. Those European big guns are still sniffing around, and another move is inevitable. Nikola Milenkovic, Nottingham Forest. One of the surprise teams of the 2024-2025 Premier League season has been Nottingham Forest. 16 games in sees them sitting pretty in 4th place, having been the only team to beat Liverpool in the league. With a particular frailty to conceding from set pieces last season, Forest looked to fix that issue by signing an imposing new central defender, and in Serbian international Nikola Milenkovic, they pulled off a masterstroke. Strong and dominant in the air, the £12 million signing from Fiorentina has been superb for them, a commanding presence in their rock-solid back line. David De Gea, Fiorentina. Speaking of Fiorentina, they might have let one of their prized defenders leave, but they pulled off an inspired signing themselves on a free transfer. When David De Gea left Manchester United at the end of the 2022-2023 season, after his contract ran out, many felt sure he would end up back at a top European club. After all, De Gea remained a steady and reliable performer with plenty of clean sheets, and still only in his early 30s. No one snapped him up though. A season out of the game had some wondering if he was going to retire, but Fiorentina signed him up, and it's proven to be a sensational move. The club sits 4th in the league after their first 15 games, with the best defense in the division, and De Gea has been a brick wall. Michael Olise, Bayern Munich. Sometimes a club just needs that one piece of inspired transfer business to rejuvenate it. Bayern Munich had a rare trophyless season in 2023-2024, with some joking it might be down to the curse of Harry Kane, despite him scoring 44 goals in his debut season. Potent attack may not have been what held Bayern back, but that didn't stop them from signing Crystal Palace's star player Michael Olise for €60 million. With dazzling trickery, pace, and an end product, Olise fit right into the Bayern attack. 9 goals in his first 22 appearances, as well as a good rapport with Kane, means he's already become a key player as the club seeks to take back the Bundesliga crown from Bayer Leverkusen. We're down to it now, the best of the best, and we're not kidding. Scott McTominay, Napoli. Poor old Scott McTominay. The Scottish international rarely let Manchester United down, but always seemed to be a scapegoat among fans. United in recent years have had countless players accused of lacking effort, and that's something that can never be leveled at McTominay, but he was never deemed show-stopping enough to be a United midfielder. With United lacking in quality midfielders and none of their summer signings yet to convince in that area, letting McTominay go to Napoli for $25 million seems like an error. It's a bargain price for a midfielder who had scored 10 goals in a difficult United season. It seemed an odd move from Napoli too, with McTominay hardly fitting the image of a club whose legends include Diego Maradona, but guess what? McTominay has been so good, he's already been nicknamed McMaradona. The Napoli fans love him, and the football press in Italy have been blown away by his brainstorming midfield performances to help Napoli into 3rd place after their 10th place finish last season, which followed their Serie A title. Who do you think's been the best or worst signing of 2024? Drop us a comment below and be sure to like and subscribe.